Hey everyone, Presito here. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Sidus NFT Heroes, which obviously is a super hyped upcoming gaming project. I'm personally super excited about it. I think it's going to be one of the biggest. If you haven't checked out my video I did previously on them as an overview of the project in general, definitely check that out on my YouTube channel. And in this video, I'm going to be focusing on the in-game economy and the politics, so you can have a nice understanding of how that is all going to work. And I'm also going to be doing a general overview of what's to come for it, and just an update from the last video, since we didn't get to cover certain things. So the first thing is the launch pads, and we made this infographic of the different launch pads coming up for Sidus NFT Heroes. And as you can see here, all of them are taking place on the 15th of December. SIDUS Fund, which is obviously really pro. That one is where Bloktopia launched and did 1000x. Space Swap, which is their, the team's own project, which is really a nice one to get into. Low barrier of entry on that one. Blokpad, which is the first IDO of Bloktopia, which is huge. Trustpad, Red Kite and GameFi, which obviously awesome, and Paid Ignition as well. So this is the update and finalized IDO schedule for Sidus NFT Heroes. All of it is just pro. Next up, we have the update from Dan Kamenko, the CEO of Sidus, and some exciting events coming up in December for Sidus is a cinematic trailer with awesome details from the game. Super excited to see that. Always cool to see how it's going to look. Then they're going to have an NFT drop for all Genesis collection holders. So if you don't know what the Genesis collection, it is their NFT collection of 6,000 NFTs that is currently on OpenSea. Floor price is around 1 Ethereum at the moment. When I made my video, actually it was 0.3 Ethereum, so it's gone up quite a bit since then. Then they're going to have a Sidus Academy collection sale and secret loot boxes, and also a lot more to come. They've also been doing giveaways, naming of characters and so on, which you can all do via their Twitter, which is really awesome. So you can have a say of how the characters will be named and so on. They've also been announcing tons of really good partnerships. I mean, Alameda Research can't get better than that. So that is an awesome partnership, along with many others they've been announcing on their Twitter, which you can obviously check out if you're interested. But this is, for me, one of the hyped ones. Obviously, Alameda is behind FTX and so on. So makes you think maybe it could be even listed there. Who knows? Either way, super bullish announcement. So now let's get into the in-game economy and check what it's all about. So one thing to note is that the team has really emphasized that the game is all about balance and fairness. So the barrier to entry is really low. Unlike other games, you know, you need to buy expensive items that'll give you a huge advantage in games. And with games like that, the whales become bigger whales. And obviously no one wants that. And it's really awesome that Sidus have made it so when you start playing, everyone's got an equal playing field. No one's going to have better items or better spaceships just because they paid for it. You're going to have to put in your time and effort, and by doing that, you'll get access to these ships, tools, and so on. So, getting stronger in the game, what will you need to do? You're going to obviously have to play the game and put in tons of your time. You're going to have to gather resources, sell items on the marketplace to earn in-game currency, which you can use for a lot of different things. So you don't even need to buy the currency on the marketplace. You can just earn it through playing the game, which is really awesome. Then obviously you're going to invest your time, unlike other games where you pay 100k for a spaceship. In this game, for example, you'll have to put in 100 hours to get that spaceship. And obviously that brings a lot more sentimental value to that spaceship. You're going to be much more unlikely to sell it after you've really put in so much time and effort into getting it. So that in the end adds monetary value to it as well. If you're not willing to sell it, obviously there's going to be demand for it, and you're not going to sell it, so the price obviously goes up. So it all works really nicely together in that regard. So now let's go through this graphic, and before we do so, I will give you a brief overview of how it's kind of going to work with the heroes and the pets. So when you have battles, there's going to be 6 characters, and each of them is going to have a pet. So therefore it's going to be 6v6 in the battle arena, essentially 3v3 with 3 pets each. So you're going to be able to pick your team of 3 heroes, and each of those heroes will have a pet. And these pets will need to be caught in a similar fashion to how Pokemon works. You'll need to then feed the pet for about a week or so after catching them, and if the pet likes you, they'll become your companion. And you can also have more than just 3 pets, and the remaining pets you have, as you can see here, can be rented out using a smart contract, and that is a way to also make gains from playing. Then there's also going to be many different types of pets. It's not going to be just the same ones. There's going to be tons of different ones, and they're going to be specialized in all different things. For example, some will be for storage, some for defense, some very offensive and attack, and so on. So it's going to be really interesting to see how you can combine the pets with your heroes and win fights basically and battles. So that's all really interesting. So in terms of your heroes collections, as I said, 3 heroes, additional ones also can be rented out using a smart contract. Same thing for spaceships. You can have your team spaceships that you use, and the remaining spaceships of the fleet can be rented out using the smart contract. Also to note, for the spaceships, they're going to require a crew to run them. It's not going to just be as straightforward as having a ship and it works perfectly. Obviously, you're going to need pilots or captains for the ship. You're going to need army for the safety, and so on. So it's all really in-depth and interesting concepts. Also, when you have the battles, you're going to pick your heroes, and obviously you're more likely to pick the 3 strongest ones, and that's why the remaining ones you can use to rent out, or if you're not planning to use them in fights, you can just rent them out and get gains like that as well. Then next up, we can have a look at the inventory of the player, and Sidus just actually recently tweeted this tweet where you can see the inventory and the interface of how you can equip your player. Everything's going to be customizable, even the colors of your players, the skins, the guns, and how the guns look, everything. So it's going to be really awesome, super impressed so far. You can see it, you can equip the weapon, you can equip armor, and so on. Interface looks really great. For example, in the inventory, there's going to be heroes gear, spaceship equipment, resources, tools, consumables, loot boxes, licenses, and these licenses you're going to need for the land plots, which you only get 1 land plot per player, which is the anti-whale mechanism, which is really awesome for them to implement. So that's really good. And then the tokens also show in your inventory and your upgrades. As you can see, the governance token and the game token will be utilized for different things. For example, the land plots purchasing, you'll need the governance token. Whereas for pets and heroes collections, it will be integrated with the game token, and spaceships will also be the governance token. And then to go further in detail, there's also going to be shares from NFT heroes staking and resource investments. This links to income from other players' access, where you get a share in global Sidus Central Station modules, share in Sidus technology in-game rewards, and then the orbital stations, which are used to colonize planets. We'll go more into detail how those work but later. And then Sidus Central Station private modules, where that's also limited to 1 private module per player. So all of this integrates with the marketplace. As I said in the beginning of the video, through these various resources, you can make gains, or you can make their tokens, which you can then use in the game, or obviously swap it out to fiat, whichever you would like. All goes through the marketplace. As you can see, how everything is linked to it. As I already said, land plots is via the governance tokens, and spaceships and heroes and pets are via the game token. So it's all really, really interesting. It's really in depth, and I do recommend you to go through the in-game economy white paper yourself if you're interested. But hopefully my video will help you understand it. Next up, let's go through overview of how it's all going to work. Obviously, it goes much more in depth to this in terms of the universe and what's part of it. But these are just select things. For example, there's going to be thousands of different starships, thousands of different planets with different resources, hundreds of different comets and different shuttles and asteroids. So it's really going to be tons of variety in this game. But everything starts in the central station. from the central station, you can obviously explore with robo shuttles, scout starships, which are the fastest ones, where you can go out to explore planets and find minerals. Also with the spaceships, there's going to be galactic sectors. The orbital station will allow you to colonize planets and then buy land on those planets. And with the shuttles, you can go to asteroids and loot rare minerals from it. There's also going to be tons of different comets. So we're going to go more in depth about what each of these things do later in the video. But for now, this is a nice brief overview of what you can do. Also to note, in the central station, it's going to grow. When it starts off, it's going to be really small and it can exponentially grow. And what's awesome is there is no limit to how much it can grow. I watched an interview with the CEO, and he says the central station can go on for years and years and tens of years even in terms of growth. So you can imagine when it starts off, and in the end, there's not even going to be an end, but after 10 years, obviously if the game is still being played a lot, which with the current hype and blockchain traction very well could be, you can imagine how big the station is going to be. It could be really incredible. And we're going to go into politics shortly, and being a president of this central station could be a really, really big deal in this game. So that is all things to be super excited about. So next up, let's go into the political scheme of Sidus NFT Heroes. And it really does go in depth. And I'm not going to go through all the different blocks, but I'm just going to explain it briefly as an overview, so you can get an understanding of how it's going to work and why it is really so exciting. So in order to be something in the game, be part of something, you need to represent a political power. So it's going to be designed for players of any age in this political system. It's not going to just be 18 plus or whatever. And they're really focusing on making it as exciting as possible. It's not like other games with stagnant gameplay, but this can keep changing with people voting and having different people in power that make different decisions. So, for example, if you are part of a guild, or even if you just play with some friends, you're going to be able to run for president. You're going to have to submit an application, for example, at the parliament, or whatever building it will be in the game. There's also going to be a registration fee, as you can see here, which you will need to pay. That is going to be in both the game token and governance token. So this registration fee, as the team said, is going to be quite a hefty fee. It's going to be quite expensive, but that makes sense because if you are planning to run for such an important role, there can only be one president running everything, the spaceship. So this is going to be a big deal. And if you're really taking it seriously, you'll be willing to pay the fee. Obviously, if you do get elected, you're going to have rewards and a lot of benefits. And obviously, it's also going to prevent people from just trolling and running as a joke and, clogging everything up and so on. So obviously, it's important for there to be that fee, in my opinion. So once you apply, you're going to have to choose your icon, describe your party and your political agenda that people will see during the elections, as it says here. KYC, selection of an icon, name, description, development program, and so on. And in that agenda, you're going to put there what you plan to do as the president. For example, you're going to build as many buildings as possible, or you're going to focus on just attacking or exploring planets. And once a month on the weekends, players will have a window that will pop up to vote for the parties, where you can see all the different agendas. And to vote for the parties, you will use your DAO tokens, and then you can vote for that political faction. And if you win and become president, you're going to rule the Sidus station for 1 whole month. Obviously, you'll be eligible for re-election. And there's also going to be a parliament with other people in charge. And if people aren't happy, they're not just going to come running to you as president, but it's going to go through the parliament, and through them, it comes to you as the president, sort of like real life. So there's going to be tons of benefits to being president, along with the power of being president and being respected. Firstly, you're going to be getting a salary from the Sidus station. Obviously, you're going to just be cool as hell because you're the president of Sidus station, and that alone is really impressive, and you can do things that others can't. Also, keep in mind, you're going to have tons of responsibilities as being president. You can't just be reckless or not be active then, because you're just going to get overthrown and voted out. So you're going to have a special interface if you are president, which others do not have. And with this interface, you can do tons of different things. For example, you can expand station slots so more spaceships can connect to the Sidus station. You can select different studies to upgrade in the Sidus technologies. And if you are a good president, then, as I said, the next month you can be re-elected. And can you imagine if you keep being re-elected because you're pro-president, people are going to start respecting you and the guild that you are part of. And yeah, you're going to be respected, trusted, maybe even feared. And that's going to be really awesome to see how that all plays out, see what type of president there's going to be and how that's all going to work out. Then as a president, all the decisions you're going to make aren't just going to be as simple as just doing it. It's going to cost money. And that money is going to come from the Sidus treasury. And for example, this money can be used to build electricity stations, spaceship extensions, like I said before, doing expeditions, building orbital stations. And something really interesting to note is the orbital stations. I mean, the game is not going to be just straightforward and really simple and easy as done, but the orbital station is going to take a month to build if you want to build one. Obviously, these will be used to colonize planets and allow easy access and entry into planets. And once you colonize a planet, you're going to be able to buy land on it. And remember, 1 land per player anti-whale mechanism, which is awesome. So it really does go in depth. And as the president, you'll be able to do so much. And what I've said is a basic summary of what is all written here. You can check it out yourself or have a read through yourself. But I think what I said summarized it nicely. And I think the political scheme is going to be super exciting in Sidus. I don't know if I'm going to try run for president, but if I do, make sure to vote for me. President Presito. I think I'll do some really pro things as president. But anyways, I think it's going to be awesome. So next up, let's have a look very briefly at the economic cycle. So I'm going to go through it briefly because there is various stages and they are quite similar. Obviously, it starts from the player, goes property, hero selection, battles in the arenas, beginning of season where you win points and there's a limit per day, accumulation of points, rating, and then end of season, and then season timer, and then it starts again. There's going to be loot boxes at the end of the season as well, which can give you, armor, weapons, gadgets, and that all goes into the marketplace, either the loot box directly or the gear you unbox. So that's all going to be really interesting. As you can see, the second stage is similar with some extra things added on, and as well for the third stage. So now we can have a look more in depth as to what each of the things in space are going to be doing, for example. So for example, the central station, as I said, is where everyone starts off. That's where you register. That's where new modules and spaceships are built and new technologies are explored, which the president will have a say in which new technologies are explored. Obviously, that can be included in his agenda and people vote based on what the president wants to do. You can get on a robo shuttle and fly to planets in short range, trade in the marketplace that is available there. You can hire heroes or find a job for yourself. There's also going to be tons of different jobs. Spaceship repairs available at the docks, arena battles and tournaments, and council meetings are held. Everything that I just read at the central station. Then there's going to be spaceships which get you from point A to B, same as robo shuttles, for example, obviously, same as other ships. But these spaceships, you can participate in battles, you can get a team and passengers from A to B, you can fly to mid and far sector planets, and it has impressive hold and armament, and it's medium speed. Scout spaceship is maximum speed, very small hold, good armament. You can fly to extra far planets, you can explore planets and asteroids, deliver a team to orbital stations quickly and covertly, and you can open a new sector and give it a name. Robo shuttles are minimum speed. They are the slowest. There's a higher capacity. Obviously, it makes sense that the Scout spaceship is max speed with small capacity, and robo shuttle small capacity with low speed. I mean, max capacity with slow speed. You can book tickets in advance for this, as I said, at slow speed possible, and you can buy a seat without luggage and with small luggage as well. The shuttle can mine asteroid resources. It can get your team from A to B, deliver special charge to a comet, and there's a good hold for loading materials in it, and it's medium speed. Orbital station is what I said is used to colonize planets. It's operated by robo shuttles for players with low gear weight. Modules can be built to explore, dock, and build. you can recruit or fire a team, you can repair spaceships at the docks, and you can go up to the station to go to other planets. Unexplored planets contain undiscovered subsoil. Obviously, it's going to have a lot of different minerals and land that you can check out. Neutral planets. An orbital station can be built for colonization. So one of these stations. You can fight with different monsters, and you'll be able to take robo shuttles with players, and you need 9 heroes to dispatch. Then there's going to be the colonized planet, which is the neutral station that has an orbital station on it. And with the opening of planets, players can also register on them, where you can buy plots of land in accessible locations. You can build infrastructure and collect resources on purchased plots of land. You can conquer competitive territories. You cannot build on neutral territory, but you can collect resources from there. You can fight in the arena with other players, and you can fight with the monsters. Asteroids also contains limited subsoil. You can have a lasting positive or negative effect on the team, and has a defined trajectory. I'm interested to see if they can actually eventually collide with the station or shuttles and so on. Then there's comets, which has random trajectory and can cause cataclysms. Okay, so it seems like the comets are going to be able to do that. Causes damage when hitting stations or planets, and the direction can be changed with a special charge. So that sounds really cool. I mean, you can put the charge explosives, I guess, on the comet, explode it, and then it changes the trajectory and wrecks your opponents. Then also, we're not going to go through all the land and everything, since this video is then going to be too long, but this is something for a future video. As you can see, it goes more into detail with territory activity, land distribution, different ratings, plots and buildings, economic labor schemes, and it just goes so in depth. And this is just the economy paper. There's also the white paper, which goes even more in depth, and there is the roadmap, which also goes extremely in depth. So overall, Sidus Hero in-game economy and politics looks super exciting, and I cannot wait to play it myself. I think this game is really going to be huge and take blockchain gaming as well as just normal gaming by storm. I think it's really going to be huge, and if you haven't followed them, I definitely recommend you to do so. Stay up to date with what they're doing, because this project is definitely going to be huge. Also join my channels, because I'll be posting more about them, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.